Hey, this is Chris, and we're in front of the East-West Quantum Leap Ministry of Rock. This is the new virtual instrument for the rock instrument kind of genre. This is their new Play instrument, which is a 64-bit engine. It works on all the platforms, PC and Mac. It works as plug-in and standalone, which is the way I'm using it here. On the left-hand side, we can see the panel is kind of sweet and easy. On the left-hand side here, we've got convulsive reverb, so real reverbs from real halls. And some of these are their new studio in LA. We've got envelope shapers, delay units, ADT, and so on. So you really got a lot of tweaking to do to the sound if you want to. Down the bottom here, they give us the MIDI input control of telling us what channel we're on and so on. CPU usage, inputs, outputs. And this box here is all the different articulations which are on this blue area. Now, if you're not aware of articulations, they're all the different strikes that an instrument will make, and you can switch between them. So if you was doing a legato or a bend or something like that, you can do the switch for that, and it sounds much more realistic. You can scroll through the articulations, and you can decide whether they're loaded or whether they're active, which saves on memory and so on. Just to give you an idea of this one, legato detection, new in these engines. Basically, if I just switch that one in, that's D sharp 0. As I play a key, here's the straight notes. Now there's a kind of like a chug noise at the beginning of the sound. You wouldn't want that everywhere, so by playing slightly different, it detects the way you play and puts in different samples. If I strike harder, of course, it's got different samples for strike as well. And if I play a piece here and I'll use some of the articulations, you get an idea of the switching that can happen. So all I did there was just switch a few switches. So if I switch it manually now so slowly, you can see what I was doing. Here's the first notes I played. In this note I wanted a bend, so you just press the switch. And there's the bend into the note. And down the bottom I needed a bend up. And I just pressed that to get a loose bend. Now, obviously, you could use your mod wheel and so on, but that's never as realistic as using the kind of articulation switches. So let's just move on to some other sounds here. Now, that was the Les Paul Deluxe through a cabinet. And you can do things like more tamer ones. Here's a Telecaster. Again, it's got articulations. You can use it as kind of like a straight sound. And you can hear that it's got all sorts of noises in there to use. You can switch to different things like chug noises, moops. So you've got lots of different changes there in articulation. If you don't need some of them, you can switch them off, as I said before, to save some memory. Let's move on to another sound here, because we haven't got long on this video. Let's do something like here. Here's something else that I really like. It's the... They call this one Les Paul Deluxe PC Master. It's actually chords. So what happens here is you can actually play chords on the keys, which are great because you can chug them and then you can kind of strum them. You get. So they sound really clever. Again, you've got the choice of switching different types of chug, different types of stuff in. And that was the chords for the Les Paul. And moving on, we can go, there's lots of bass and drums. We'll just go into some of the drums here and switch them in. All I'm doing here is switching the MIDI channel over to my keyboard so I can use it live. Now, on here, you've got lots and lots of articulations. Again, you can choose how the drum kit's made up, whether you want certain beaters on the bass drums, whether you want certain sounds on the snares. So you can really kind of mix and match and make your own. And I saved this one before, which is just one that I laid out. And it has really great sounds. So it go from the soft to the hard. The bass drum beat is really kind of small, and then hard, and it really kind of sounds good. You've got all types of sound like that. The cymbals do the usual thing from soft right up to smash, and they sound great when you use them. And they really are great sounding drums. Obviously, you can put them through the reverbs and stuff if you want to and change the way that they sound. But I just use this kind of standard ones because they're always great. Let's move on to some other sounds. I've got some great bass sounds here. And the bass sounds, again, have got lots of articulations. Here it says sustain round robin. And remember, that's the first note is one sound, and the second note is another recording. So there's a slightly different tone when you play it. And you can see there's slight drive in the sound there, which gives you that real kind of like rock sound. And again, we've got all types of articulations. So if you wanted a kind of like standard bass sound, here's pick on the fingers, snubs there, slides down, so you can go anything you want. So you don't have to use lots of wheels and stuff to try and get these to sound right. So this is basically just a couple of the things that I've showed you here. There's an awful lot of product in here to actually go through, so it's too much to go through on this video. But this is the Ministry of Rock, and again, it's Chris from Florida Music Company. Again, if you need to purchase anything like this, you can actually come to our website, floridamusicco.com, and type in just Gypsy or Ministry of Rock or whatever you need, and you can get the whole listing of exactly what's specifications and stuff on our website, and watch this video again actually from in our website. So thanks again for watching.